You've had the interview question before. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then you've thought, I don't really know. Well, today I want to share with you a three-part response to answering this question like a pro. And there's some role mastery steps that you need to keep in mind as well. So keep watching and listening to today's episode of Lunch and Learn Live with Janet Smith. Intentional career advancement advice from me. And TalentSmiths Lunch and Learn Live every Thursday. Well, today I want to share with you how to best answer the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You've probably been asked this question. If you haven't, you probably will. So let's talk about how to answer this question. And it's three parts to keep in mind when answering this question. And I also want to share with you role mastery. That's what you should think about when you're answering this question. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You've been asked this question. What does the employer really want to know? What are they really asking you? Do they really want to know what you envision and where you see yourself in 5 years? Do they know where they see themselves in 5 years? Well, let's talk about it. The interviewer wants to understand how this role actually fits in with your hopes and with your dreams. They're wanting to know more about you. They want to make a determination of your plans. That's really what it boils down to. They want to know what's in your mind. They want to know what you're thinking, and they want to know if you plan to stay with the company or if you just want to be there until something better comes along. They want to know that you're committed. They want to make a determination if you really want to stay there for the long haul. That's what it boils down to. And when you enter this question, you need to keep that and you need to keep them in mind with your response. So let's talk about briefly what not to say when you're responding to this question of where do you see yourself in 5 years. So it's best not to say that you want to be the CEO in 5 years. It's best not to say that you want to have your boss's job in 5 years because that sounds like you just want to skip over this position that you're applying for and you want to go straight to the CEO seat. And it sounds a bit impatient. Mhm. It's best not to say that you want to start your own company or you want to start a different career. And that sounds like you don't really want the position for which you're applying right now. hmm Sounds like you don't want to be there. Sounds like you want to be somewhere else. Okay, so let's talk about the three things to note. Okay. So the first thing is focus on the value this position will give to your career, keeping the company in mind. Okay. Number two, show enthusiasm for this opportunity, keeping the company in mind when you're showing your enthusiasm. Mhm. Be excited about it because you are, right? Of course you are. And so, number three, be realistic with your response. There's really not a wrong answer, but there is really a right answer. And I want to share that with you. And be realistic with your response while keeping the company in mind. Okay, so let's go over what to actually say in response to this question. Now, I want to share with you two different ways to respond to this question. What I mean by that is if you're in more of an entry level or associate level position, I'll give you that way of responding. And if you're a managerial or more of an executive level position, we'll talk about that way of responding to this question as well. But keeping the company in mind, I want you to think about these five things as well when you're answering this question. And I want you to think about the company and what the company wants. The company wants you to become proficient in this position, and that's what you want to share with them. That's what you want to detail. You want to think about learning the industry. You want to think about becoming known in this company, and you want to think about focusing on developing your skills as well as your desire to mentor other people and taking on bigger projects. That's what role mastery will look like for you in this position. And that's how you want to answer this question. You want to think about all of those things, and in your response, apply those things. Now, you can apply this to the position that you are specifically applying for, but I'm going to give you an example as if it's a compensation analyst position, and I'm going to answer this question for you right now. So, here's a response that you could give if you are applying to like an entry level type position or an associate type position. And we're going to apply all of those five role mastery thoughts. And we're also going to apply those three things to note as well. Okay. So your response could sound like this: my goals are that I want to obtain this analyst position, take the next year to fully learn my role and fully learn the company's needs. Then in the following years, establish myself as the go to person creating position descriptions at the company. I'm also focused on in the coming years on getting to know my strengths even better. And if your company has a mentorship program, I'm eager to learn more about that. Definitely eager to learn more about that. Are you able to share or provide more information about any mentoring programs here? Mhm. So this is a response that you can give if you're applying for an entry level type position or an associate type position. And just remember, regardless of the level of position for which you are applying, this is still a two-way conversation. You still want to flip the script, so to speak, and ask them a question as well. Ask what growth paths they see within this role. That's why throwing in the mentoring inquiry is really cool, because that's all about growth, not only for yourself, but for other people. So whether you're answering this question in an entry level for an entry level position or more of an executive type position, remember that. Flip the script, ask a question about growth in the company. So let's talk about what that can sound like, what your response can sound like if you're applying to a more managerial type position or an executive type of position. This is what it can sound like. And you apply this to whatever position for which you're applying. Okay. This role presents new challenges for me. I want to spend the next 5 years developing a greater expertise within the compensation space. I know this role deals a lot with executive compensation, which is a skill I like to master in the coming years. After I've built up my credibility and my experience in the next 2 to 3 years at your company, I hope to mentor others that are coming into this compensation space, because mentoring is actually a passion of mine. That's what it could sound like if you are applying to a more managerial type of position, right? So keep those role mastery ideas in mind. You want to apply what you already have to the company for which you're applying. What does that mean? You may already have the title or have had the title in the past, but going into this company with the same title, you still need to learn the company. So let them know that you want to learn the industry. You want to become known in the company. You want to develop your skills. You want to mentor people and you want to take on those bigger projects. Even though you have that title and you've had it in other companies, you want to grow within that title at this company. And that involves mastering the role in their company. So take those 3 steps and take those 5 role mastery steps and apply them to your next interview question when you are asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Good luck. You have got this. I know you do. You can answer this question like a pro. You can get a second interview if possible, and you can get the job. Thanks for watching. Bye.